wanna see how a nigga get caught up. I got out of every situation that you thought of. I don't need you right now, I'll see you later. You can learn a thing or two on how to keep it player. I'm not trying to be a player no more. Fight on my past, yeah, I did it all before. I wanna keep this shit on the low. Like I'm not trying to be a player no more. Don't you understand now I'm trying to be your man? I ain't playing no more games, yeah, I'm done with that plan. Look at all of these miles that a nigga ran for you. You know that nobody gonna move how I move, yeah. It's not the only thing that I can do, is more to it. Actions speak louder than words, so you know.
Hey, what's up? It's your favorite brother, Brother Abner. You watching Brother Abner TV. Hey man, today we're gonna get into some stuff about people not knowing their nationality, right? We got people out here talking about they ain't African, talking about they ain't American, but they don't know what they are. According to scripture, not of course not according to your brother Abner, but according to scripture. So y'all, let's get ready to get into this. Let's go.
I'm trying to figure out how Afro get in front of my motherfucking race. I ain't never been to Africa. I never been to Africa. Afro or Africa. Never been there. I'm not from Africa. I'm born and raised in Goose, Florida. I'm born in Goose, raised in Liberty City in the Poker Bean Project. I ain't never went to Africa. I ain't thinking about going there. And I heard it's a beautiful place. Yeah. And I know it's the motherland, yes. But not my mother, not her mother, and not her mother's mother. That ain't their land. America real true land is right here in the U.S. soils.
Stop it, my nigga.
Now next coming up is a brother from Urban Politicians TV. Now he got some, a pretty good understanding, but he lacks something. Let's see what it is. Let's go.
Break this down for you. They say the original man, the original human, comes from Africa. So that would mean that everybody has some type of African.
Now, let me break this down for you. Galatians 4:6 reads, "But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all." So that would mean Africa is not the motherland. Let's go. Not the motherland.
Originality, not just black Americans. Also, on top of the fact, we have been over here in America for centuries. For hundreds of years, we've been over here in America. We have formed we are what you call an ethnogenesis. We have a new culture, a new identity.
Look, you cannot change your nationality. That is why we have the scriptures that state, not to the third, fourth, 10th generation can you come back into the congregation. That's why those scriptures are there. So you can't change your nationality. What you are is what you are. Let's go.
We have a name called black that people in other countries don't even like to be called. That's an American term. The word nigga is American term. We have a new identity of who we are. It's a lot of people that come.
Now, nigga is not an American term. Nigger with the ER on it. Let's just say that's slang. Okay? We'll just say that that's some slang, because I'm going to get into the definition of what nigga and niggas mean also. But it's not made up by, nigger is made up by Americans, but niggas, nigga, no. We them niggas. Let's go.
From other countries all over the world, why do blacks have to put African American on theirs when they've never been there? And like I say, we've been in America, this land, for hundreds of years. We've created a new culture. We have a new ethnic name, as in black. So when they tied to Africa, and then
now, black is not a terminology or a description of a nationality. It's a color. That's all it is.
Stop it, my nigga.
Okay, next up, we got Umar Johnson and Dana Calloway.
60s, the Pan-African movement, pro-black, blackity black, black, and they see that as a lot of our people waking up to, wait a minute, that was a tactic done, that was supposed to be done to switch up our minds off of us being indigenous to this land and other people replacing us.
New York, stop it, my nigga.
Pretendian games, huh? Pretendian nation. If you don't come from Africa, take a DNA test and prove it. That's all. Anybody come up to you talking about they don't come from Africa, their ancestors, tell them to take a DNA test and prove it.
Now with that, Dr. Umar was on to something when he said something about the blood test, because if you do a DNA test, it's gonna run your DNA right back to Africa, right? But what he doesn't know is that in 70 AD, we fled Jerusalem into parts of Africa because we could blend in. So that is why when people say we came from Africa, yeah, we did come from Africa. They took us from the coast of Africa. But that's not who we are. Let's go.
We ain't got to do no theory. We don't need no philosophy. We don't need no reasoning. We have science. We don't need no theories. We don't need no philosophy. We don't need any reasoning. We have science. Roll up your sleeve. In fact, they don't even take blood. You could get a Q-tip and swab the saliva. You could take a saliva DNA test. How much is the African ancestry test, brothers and sisters?
Stop it, my nigga.
Next coming up to the stage is the big bro Charleston White. Now Charleston White know that he's niggas. You know that. But I don't think he has the full concept of what that really means. Let's go.
Africa ain't built no. Africa ain't built no ship and came back over here and rescued.
Not one popsicle stick. They ain't sent one popsicle stick over here. Let's go.
One nigga since we left from Africa. Yeah, and Africans don't like us. Yeah, nigga, Africans don't fuck with us. They don't like us, and they stink. Yeah, and they some stinky people. Yeah, niggas, fuck Africa. Yeah, they ain't our people. We niggas, slaves, the descendants of slaves. They would never call no nigga. The first group of Africans, only one generation. Now the first group came. They wasn't born into this shit. Me and your people was born into this, homie. They were born slaves. They birth certificate.
Now, when you look at this birth certificate, it says Negro, race. Race means a nation of people. So why doesn't it say African? If that's where they brought us from. This says Negro. That's a race of people. And it ain't black. Think about it.
You say nigga. They was born in Africa. They are not us. They know what tribe they come from. They had a language.
Facts.
They broke them from the language, and we was born in these conditions. We ain't no African.
So yeah, man, it's your favorite brother, man. Let's get into the definition of what exactly does let's get into the definition of what niggas means. Niggas in Hebrew. The word niggas comes from the Giza Semitic rootings, which means to reign. In ancient Greek, the title Negus translates to Basileus, in biblical and other literature, that literally has been used to translate the word king or emperor. So, are you a nigger? Of course I am. So let's get to this thing, man. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go here, right? Because, see, when you look up in history, you see all of these signs right here. They say Negroes, 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 a race of people, Negroes for sale, right? None of them say Africans for sale. They all say Negro. Because we are Negroes. So with that, let's get a little bit of history on Negro land and a little bit on just what happened. Let's go.
Of Negro land and adjacent countries, also Upper Guinea, and it states basically the countries that were involved, I guess, in slave trade, probably, England, Denmark, Holland. Where as you look at the map, you can see Negro land up top there. Okay, and what this shows that's so significant to us is, if you can't see that, you see the Kingdom of Judah, in which that's very significant for us, because that shows us that we were the people in the book. And notable is the fact that how we basically ended up there is we from the main point, is before the transatlantic slave trade, Negroes migrated and also were exiled to West Africa.
So, like the man said, Acts 13:1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, and Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Syrian and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod and Terech and Saul. Well, Simeon, that was called Niger. That's where they get it from. That's why they called us Negroes. One thing. Let's go. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and let's read it. And our Elohim shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So if you know where Egypt is located and where the Israelites went into Egypt the first time, you would know that they don't need ships to go back into Egypt. Right? So that's an identifier of who these people are. Because it said, and they shall bring them into Egypt again with ships. Now, what is Egypt known for? Go to Deuteronomy 5, and we're going to read 1-6. It says, and Moses called all Israel, not everybody, just all Israel, and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep and do them. The Lord our Elohim made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord made not this covenant with other fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day. So even if you weren't alive, he's talking about the ones that ain't alive and the ones that are coming and the one that are alive today. The Lord talked with you face to face in the mount of the midst of the fire. I stood between the Lord and you at that time to show you the word of the Elohim. For ye were afraid by reason of the fire, and went not up into the mount, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. So Egypt is synonymous for being known as the house of bondage, or Mizraim. Okay? So this is why it says here in Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way where I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Now, as a nation of people, that has only happened to the so-called African American. That has never happened to any other nation of people, not even the African. And if I had to speak more on that, they had something to do with us being sold into captivity. Yeah. Let's read this. Exodus 11:7, because for some reason people think that the Africans are the only so-called melanated people on this planet. You have different types of Asians. You have different types of Spanish people. You have different types of Europeans. But you want to believe that the African is the only so-called black nation of people on this planet. You're incorrect. Here we go. This is Exodus, and we're in 11. We're going to start at 7. And it reads, but again, any of the children of Israel, but against, I'm going to try that again. So let's go to Exodus 11 and verse 7. And it reads, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Elohim doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. We look the same, but we are not the same. And there are many scriptures where our forefathers were mistaken as so-called Egyptians, but they were not. Why do you think the Messiah fled into so-called Africa? We could blend in. We're not the same. We are niggas. With that being said, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Now this sister here, Queen Natalie, New School of Thought, Elder Quanah, FOPE, for our people's edification. If you want to get a real deep down understanding of bloodline, bone structure, and all that kind of stuff, get at them. That's who you get at about that. Folk 1 broke down the 12 tribe chart and let you know that it was fake. Okay? Let's go. And with that, it's your favorite brother, Brother Abner. Know this, that you are a nigga, I'm a nigga, you a nigga, we a nigga. Let's embrace that thing, man. We kings. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Share, subscribe if you want to. I want to thank the Most High Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel for everything. And if anybody out there spreading some of that false crap,